my journey of healing, forgetting I'm a human being. Got caught up in faking, pretending, when I'm one I should be defending. Love like you a miracle child, like somebody died for your life. We only here for a while. Learn how to love in your life. I don't think you hearing me, I don't think you feeling me. You not thinking really deep, you ain't reading into me. You listen real chronically, this ain't how we supposed to be. You out of touch with identity, you ain't reading into me.
Hey there, it's your girl Ken, and I'm tuning in with another podcast episode. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's video. As you can see, I have some artistic-ery going on here. I am actually framing my original drawings so I can go to the square and sell them. And actually, as I'm filming this podcast episode, I went out yesterday and did so and was able to sell one painting, which is super amazing. And I'm going to get into a few topics that revolve around art itself. So today I'm just going to jump in. We're going to touch on 5 topics. And I'm going to start with one of them being self-sabotage with large audience and getting back into creation. So I wanted to touch on this because I see myself doing this a lot, especially with YouTube. I've done it with Instagram, and I've also done it with TikTok. Once I get to a certain amount of people watching me, I find myself going through self-sabotaging and retracting actually from the audiences that I have worked so hard to build. I see myself, instead of overthinking content, I would just post whatever in the moment, which is beautiful because my heart is in the right place. I want to post something organic, something nice. But in the same breath, it is also something that is not created. It's done, and one of my top tier needs and desires when it comes to art is that it is cultivated. And if you know anything about planting or gardening, something that you cultivate takes time, it takes care, it takes watering, it takes consideration. And the fact that even though I have all the time in the world to literally create art in a way that could be beautiful, stunning, and all the things, and that I don't take that opportunity and hone in and create something truly worth watching 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, something worth liking, something worth commenting on, something worth saving, something worth reposting, something worth talking about even to your friends, so a friend can follow and know about, or I'm mentioning being mentioned just in conversation. It is about being intentional. So one of the things that I'm going to carry on with me is being a mass creator. I do that all the time. Sometimes I'm able to create a whole bunch of things in one setting, and it's really a beautiful experience. That means I have so much to pour out of me. But at the same time, whenever I do that, just to stay consistent and to not self-sabotage myself. When we do this, this is when it comes to lesson. When we do things like this, we are showing to ourselves that we can't be trusted. We are telling God in a way, not all the way, that we are not grateful for what we have. If we are making excuses and making our blessings seem minuscule to where we don't have to put a lot of effort, because you put a lot of effort when you get to 5,000. You put a lot of effort when you get to 10K. You put a lot of effort when you have 10 million, following you, seeing you. No, you put a lot of effort in, period, regardless, because this is your craft. This is your art. And your art has an expectation for you, just like you have an expectation for your art. If you want your art to pay the bills, then you must make your art work. And the thing about making your art, your craft, your purpose work for you is that you need to work it. They never say money just makes money, but they tell you in order for your money to make money, you must work the money, right? So For instance, if you are somebody like me and you want to hone in on fashion, you must work your closet. That means you have to literally put on the clothes and style what you have. You're putting your clothes to work, right? And in order to put your clothes to work, you must also go back to putting your money to work. Okay, how do you put your money to work without losing money? What you do is you coupon. You find a place that has deals. You go thrifting. You reach out to brands to collab. You order samples. You order things at a discounted rate. You put things together. You either buy things and return them, buy things and return them, so that your money is being revolved. You create solutions to your passions until you can finally fulfill it in a way of full abundance. But the thing is this, if you're in full abundance and you've already realized there are different ways that you can make your money work for you without even losing the money that you have, you're going to keep doing that thing and still make the amount of money you make, and you're just getting wealthier and wealthier and wealthier because you have so much wisdom, because you've learned how to do these things at an earlier point. So doing these things, which is something I'm definitely going to implement, and if this inspires you or have made you think, you know what, I think that's a good idea, go ahead and implement it and see how it works for you. You don't have to. Maybe it's just advice for you, but I think that's one thing that I'm definitely learning and going to be doing. And I think this will help me not self-sabotage myself for large audiences, because it brings me to focus number 2. Focus on what you love and not something to react to. This is something that I think I have been guilty of for the past week, I believe. I ended up starting another TikTok page and Instagram page. And I found myself, especially on TikTok, wanting to respond to every comment, forgetting not everything needs a response. Not everything needs a response in a post. You know, like, it's okay to just message. It's okay to even just let the comments sit there and be. Not always having to respond and say thank you or give details or just trying to be seen. I was already seen when they saw the video. And with doing so, it helps you not deter from your path, because, like I said, if you're focusing on what you love, you're only pouring into the things that give you purpose, that give you just not content, but like gives you context, gives you depth, gives you meaning, gives you an outlet to exercise your soul's right to create. So in me doing this, focusing on what I love, I really do believe it will help me reach my goal of gaining a high ticket audience, a high value audience, an engaging audience, a reactive audience where they're keen to pouring into me because they see me doing what I love, instead of seeing me on the spectrum of just reacting to life, but being the creator of my life. Being, being the art embodying art. That is worth seeing. What is not worth seeing is talking to people. Like, we don't sit there and we're out in the world and just watch people talk to people, unless you're a people watcher. But if you are, you're not hearing the conversations. You're not tuning into that, unless they're on a TV show where their conversations is made to entertain. But on a day-to-day, that's not what we do. So to think that strategy would have grown my page is truthfully absurd, and it's something I'm going to toss away really quickly. And I'm going to start not rebranding, but definitely pivoting, because I've already branded. I've already branded. I know that I want and I desire to not just post luxury content, but to live a luxurious and abundant life. And going towards what I love is going to make sure that I get that life that I really do want. And that comes with definitely focus, discipline, controlling your emotions. And that leads me to point number 3, not taking the easy route. Now, it seems like this conversation is steered towards social media, but this topic definitely does cover an array of topics in regards to social media, in regards to creation, in regards to everyday life. And mind you, is it beneficial to not have to always work yourself to the bone to create a solution? Yes, we are humans. Burnout is super real. Getting tired is super real. Getting annoyed is super real. But at the same time, but more so and at the same time, life is demanding us to put in effort. When I did Airbnb, I had people like write quotes and stuff on my refrigerator. And one of the quotes I actually read today, I finally resonated with. It said, life is 10% inspiration and it is 90% perspiration. And when I looked at that, I'm like, you're right. And then I thought about the fact that a lot of people, or just myself, but I've definitely heard this, is people say, when I go on social media and I watch it, I am just trying to be inspired. And you think about how much time we spend on social media a day, and it's like you only need 10%. You need to be inspired 10%. Somebody can literally say one word and you can be inspired. So to sit here and say that you're being inspired for 6, 7, 8 hours of your day is once again absolutely absurd. And that's not realistic, and that is absolutely a lie of the enemy to keep you in a space of distraction. So if you want to do calculations or mental math, you think about 24 hours in a day, and you're definitely going to use about 8 of them or so to sleep. 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. So that's 16 hours left. And I think if you divide that up for your day, you're only going to need, what's 10% of 16? About an hour or so. 10 goes into 16. No, that's less than an hour. That's basically 60 minutes. Basically 60 minutes. So only 1 hour of your day do you need to spend on social media. And when you're on social media, let it be intentional. Now, mind you, is that realistic? No, for a lot of us. But it'll help us be mindful of what we're doing. Now, mind you, that map could be completely wrong. But at the same time, isn't it not helpful to realize that you only need 10% inspiration? Really be intentional about what you're looking at and look for that one thing to help you pull yourself into a productive space. Whether it's like, okay, I'm going to go on social media, but I'm going to go to intentionally in this hour for 10 minutes, I'm going to go to a workout page. For 10 minutes, I'm going to go to a cooking page. For 10 minutes, I'm going to go to a beauty page. For 10 minutes, I'm going to go to a traveling page. For 10 minutes, I'm going to and for 20 minutes, I'm going to look at my content and create something, right? Or look at my content and be inspired by what I've created, or, do whatever. So you've utilized that whole hour to be inspired. You're watching workout content because you want to know what you're going to do in the gym either this day or this week, so that it's plugged in your mind. You're watching food content so that you know what meals you want to cook this week or recipes you want to save. You're watching beauty content because we're trying to see what the trends are. What's something that is popping off that I want to try, that I feel like I would be good at, that I could add to. You know what I'm saying? So that's making your social media 100% inspiration. And we think that our For You page is going to do this for us, but in reality, it's not. Our For You page is just a curation of everything we've ever liked, we've ever shared, we've ever even just watched. So if you've watched something long enough, they're going to think something is for you, even if you think it's nonsense. So that's not even reliable. What's reliable is you being honed into you, seeing yourself. And I think this method is going to be very beneficial. If you listen to this, be inspired and go about your way and doing the dang thing. Let me know how it goes, or if you're going to try it. I always encourage you guys to engage in the comments and give me your take and your perspective on everything. I hope that you're really liking the art that you're seeing. These are my 2025 creations. I think 2024, 2025. Most of these are 2025 that I'm actually showing you guys. And it's basically more simplistic drawings. People ask me a lot, like, what are your inspirations behind this? And actually talking to someone else, they helped me realize that it is me understanding that I am in a place of simplicity, that honestly, truly, I don't have too much to say, but whenever I do say something, it is intentional, it is beautiful, and it is simple. And it packs a lot of punch. It packs a lot of flavor. It packs a lot of meaning. And that's why this current season of art is kind of minimal. It's scaled back a lot. It doesn't take a lot of time, but it takes more skill. And I feel that way definitely here in my 24th year of living. No, my 25th year of living. Still in progress. So that's super, 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 super cool. And with that art, certain things have been happening around it. And one of the things is I've been definitely raising my standards and charging my worth, even if I'm just standing beside the price. Oh, that's a really good title. Charging my worth, even if I'm just standing beside the price. And this meaning, I told you guys how yesterday I went out and I sold, and I displayed like a gallery, my original paintings for the first time, framed with prices, like letting people see that this piece is $400, this piece is $275, this piece is $3,200, this piece is $8,000. So people know what it is. A lot of people look at art and they make up their own prices just regularly, like, oh, I would pay $300 for that. Oh, I would pay $400 for that. But it's like, you see that, but it's like, oh, whoa, I know what I would pay for that, but this actually costs $84. And the thing is, it's important because it helps people see your worth and your value. Now, for me, I don't sell my art inside a building. I sell my art outside of a building. And a lot of times people can tend to discredit you regarding that, because they think that your work is not of value. But then, lo and behold, you have your lovely price tags that show them, no, this took a lot of time. And where I am doesn't deter my value, especially if I can't help where I am. So I think that was the most beautiful thing. I felt richer. I felt just so sure of myself. And I didn't feel the need to pitch myself. Whoever likes my art or wants to speak to me would. They're going to come over. They're going to ask about a painting. They're going to inquire. And once I explain the painting, they're going to see why it costs so much money. Why it is what it is, right? And what emotions went into it, all the things. And the thing is, the price doesn't justify the art or the artist. The artist justifies the price. And people are going to ask if they want to know. And that is in itself has freed me, and it's still curing so much trauma and old identity crisis within me, because I'm realizing I am worth it. I am worth the one-time transaction of whatever set amount. If a Birkin bag can be that amount, my art can too. And the thing is this, because I am a small artist, not very known. I'm not a small artist, but I'm just not known. My art really is a big deal because it's so unique. It's just the fact that not a lot of people know me. So my art is not going to be charged a few million. I do have an art piece that could sell for $1 million easily. I have a few, or all of them could individually. However, I am a beginner. I'm still learning. My network is my network. And I'm going to be around those people very soon. I'm starting new projects and getting into new things via the Lord telling me to. So that's going to be super interesting. So being able to literally stand beside and in betwixt art that range from $32,000 to $50 for prints was just so immaculate. And I ended up making $100. And I was there for I was probably out there from, I think, 6 to 9 because it gets really hot. But yeah, I was able to make $100 in 2.5 hours, maybe 3. And that was brilliant. I explained my art. I got a few gift cards. It was just a beautiful, extravagant, amazing time. And finishing up on that, I think the last thing I'm going to touch on is, in order to even get to this space, a lot of things had to happen. I've had to, let me just say the topic name, let go of what's not for you, even if it still wants to serve you. And I'm going to read this scripture that the Lord had me read this morning as I went to him, praying over a situation that I involuntarily would never address, but someone addressed me wanting to speak to me. And what stood out to me is verse 7, when it says, when the Lord takes pleasure in anyone's way, which that means basically he will take pleasure in your way if it is of righteousness, because that's the Lord's way. So when he takes pleasure in your way, that's a big deal. When he does that, he causes their enemies to make peace with them. And the thing is this, the Lord had told me in regards to this person, accept their peace. When they want to make peace, accept their peace. But it's up to you if you want to maintain a rapport, a friendship, It's always good to always have a lifeline to people, a connection to people. You never know what you would need. You'll never know what comes up. So it's always good to have community, period, right? But I just thought that was super interesting. But he really had me read Proverbs chapter 16, verse 1 through 9. And then verse 9 says, in their hearts, human plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps. So to bring it back to let go of what's not for you, even if it wants to serve you. So for instance, this past week, I went through my closet and I took out all of the clothes that no longer serve, that I no longer want. Of course it wants to serve me. Of course it wants to be worn. Of course it wants to be put on. But at the same time, I'm like, does this serve me? Do I even want this to serve me? And I had to ask that of some wardrobe. I even had to ask that of some people. There is some people in my life that still want access to me. Part of them have been used by the enemy to do me wrong. And some of them are just good people. However, there are some things that are definitely a compromise that was not for me. That was not of me. Some things that I would not entertain, or some things that make me uncomfortable. So I've had to grow through that. I've had to sit with my humanity and sit with their humanity and realize that there are some people that I am more than willing to reconcile with, but there are also some people that I am not willing to reconcile with without even thinking about it, or maybe they just need more time. But at the end of the day, if there's somebody there's an enemy that wants to make peace, at least in this case, the Lord is like, allow them to make that peace. Give them the space to make that peace, because that is more so for them than it is for you. That is forgiveness for them. And sometimes people want to just voice and talk it out. And you don't have to give them that space, but you can establish if they're genuine or not. And you always are free to make the final decision whenever that time comes. And whenever that time comes, when you know yourself and you've trusted yourself and you've poured love into yourself and you trust God's word, then the outcome is going to be for you. So that was a new thing that I'm learning. And with that, I was even able to discover that it's because the Lord has just sent me on a fast. Mind you, I thought it was a fruit fast. Then I thought it was a vegetable and fruit fast. I'm like, is this even a food fast? Because it didn't feel like that. It didn't feel right because I always just gave in. I was like, Lord, I can't do this. But I realized that Lord was really telling me, like, I don't want people in your house. I want you to be with me. I want you to be with me. And then I realized it's like a people fast, a person's fast, where I used to invite a lot of people in my house for like gatherings, to sit, to talk, for them to vent, for them to stay for a little bit if they needed to. And the Lord is like, I'm actually closing these doors. I'm closing these doors, and the only person that is invited in is you and me. So that has been my fast. And in that, I was able to actually intentionally meet people who are interested in me, who are interesting, not because they are going through stuff and they want to gossip or they just want to stir and stuff, but because they are growing and evolving in life and the conversations are high vibrational. That is what the Lord has always wanted for me. That is what I want for myself. Like, you are the company that you keep. Seriously. So, and I seriously wanted to keep good, amazing company. And there's one girl that I used to go to high school with. I am very inspired by her. She's younger than me, but I'm like, wow, she's really done her thing. And what's important in this matter, before I say this, is for me was not to compare. It is very easy to compare, but the Lord said comparison is the thief of joy, because honestly, we can never be the same thing, and our stories are not the same. With this young lady, her name is Kristen, and she was on a step team with me, and I'm seeing her growth, and I am so proud of her so much. I am so very inspired to the fact that I'm like, I want her to teach me how she's done what she's done. I'm able to sit here and learn and invest if she has the space or the capacity, because that's how much I admire her. And to think that at one point I was pouring into her in high school, it's so cool that I'm like, man, growing up, she could pour back into me, and that'll be amazing. She has been on beautiful platforms. She's been, I think, in a magazine or something. She's definitely doing amazing, and I'm so very proud of her. And I just want to be proud of myself in a similar way, and I want to know how to penetrate that. So, that's just amazing. And in order for me to even get to this place, I had to be obedient and let go of what's not for me, even if they want to still serve me. Because some of them still want to serve me, still want to be friends, still want me to show up, still want to do things with me, still want to pour into me in some type of way. However, it's just not worth it. And that's okay. And I believe that this pretty much wraps up everything that I wanted to talk about. I do not want this to be super long-winded. I've hit the points I wanted to hit on. I really do pray and hope that this was absolutely beneficial to you. I'm sorry. I'm always apologetic to my hiatuses. I really do want to make those shorter and shorter and less and less. And this one was fairly short before I came back. Usually it's a few months. And this one, I believe, was just 1 month. a lot has happened and I'm getting back into it. And I'm going to approach it very much differently. Even today, I was thinking about getting an assistant to help me out. Nothing expensive, just something that's attainable. Even if it's for, they help me out for 5 hours a week. That'll be perfect. So I'm working with that, dealing with that, doing the thing, white to black. And I know we can prosper through this. I know we can do this. And if you are listening to this message and you've made it to this far, drop a comment. Hey, how you doing? Did this spark anything inside of you? Did this help you in any way? Does this prompt you to share, to like, to subscribe? Welcome if you're new. And if this is the first video you're seeing of me, oh my goodness, what a treat. What a treat from me to you. So thank you so much for stopping by. Once again, I pray that you liked all of the art that you saw. And if you want to see more of my art, I would say go to my website that I'm going to mention below, but I'm actually still working on just my art, my professional art site that just has my paintings. But in the meantime, if you just want to see a broad spectrum of the things that I've created, you can definitely go to www.brownskinluxury. I will have that in the description, but Brown is spelled BRWNSKIN luxury.com. So you can catch me there. Definitely catch me on my social media pages. I do have a page that is called Brown Skin Luxury on TikTok, and also on TikTok, can tune in with apostrophe in, and my Instagram is x.purefeeling.x. Go ahead and reach out, give me a follow, give me a like, and I'm sure you'll love it there. Without further ado, bye you guys. Peace.